lovely friends. This is Kathryn Gorman Lovelady. I'm the director with my husband of Moonstar Lodge in central Ontario in a little place called Tiny, and that's apropos to this region. I've had friends comment that I never introduce myself, and of course I don't think of new people coming to this video. But I am a minister in the Indigenous tradition, interfaith tradition, moderator of Wolf Island Indigenous Interfaith Church. I've run Moonstar Lodge since 1976, and my husband joined me in 1995, and so we've been at this a long time. I've taught many arts programs and run a studio here at Moonstar, but I've also dealt in parapsychology from university years on up, and so I lecture, write, and have a collection of nearly 1,000 decks of tarot, oracles, and divination, which has been a lifetime study for me. So every month I do two videos. At least two videos, one for new moon and one for full moon from an Indigenous perspective. Occasionally we do videos about the medicine wheel and about tarot and other issues within parapsychology. This particular video today is being shot on a beautiful, warm spring night, and it's been great for the last few days. We've certainly had an early spring. My library studio space is filled with four-leggeds and three-leggeds and feline and canine and partners, so you'll hear the tippy-tappy of little feet. Anyway, we're here to talk about this coming new moon on April 11th, and it's the 5th moon of this moon cycle, and it's here on the medicine wheel. We're just coming into the beginnings of this 5th moon cycle, and for those of you who are new, our year begins at winter solstice and we count around. Now this would be a perfect year, but of course the orbit of our planet around the sun isn't perfect, and the order and cycles of the moon are not perfect. So I should say the orbit of the moon is not perfect. So therefore, it varies from year to year. But in a perfect year, we would have day 1 of the first moon cycle on winter solstice, or December 20th, 21st. But we're here on the medicine wheel right now. We've entered into the red. My elders taught me that it was red in the east, like the sunrise, yellow in the south, like the midday sun, black in the west as the sun goes to bed, and white in the north for spirit. So each community, each culture, I am Algonquin. Some family are from Mohawk territory actually. But this is how my elders taught me, and this is how I continue to teach. So back to this 5th moon cycle. So this moon cycle, with every moon cycle, the moon shifts between a crone woman, an elderly female, an owl, and the moon itself. So this month, the grandmother, the moon as a grandmother, is called Listening Woman. She is the mother of Taiyo, the stillness. She is the mother of inner knowing, the keeper of discernment and guardian of introspection, the interpreter of messages from the spirit world, the counselor and advisor, the keeper of hearing. She teaches us how to enter the stillness and hear our heart's small, still voice within, how to find and understand the inner knowing we carry in our spiritual essences, how to listen to the viewpoints and opinions of others and the voices of the ancestors, how to understand body language and unspoken thoughts, hearing with our hearts. She teaches us how to hear the truth. So we are coming from looks far woman who sees into the future. And now that we are seeing into the future and contemplating how to move forward in the future, we are now expected to listen to the ancestors, to listen to our own inner voice. So she enters this new phase on April 11th at 10:30 p.m. in our latitude and longitude. And she becomes full on April 26th. So, that being said, I have pulled some cards, and we're still dealing obviously with this pandemic, and I asked from a place of gratitude in advance for the teachings that were to come. I asked, how might we approach this springtime and the energies of this month coming? We're all right now in Ontario, at least, in a supreme lockdown. It is the most severe lockdown. We are not meant to leave our homes except for medical reasons or groceries. Basically, we are home. And so it can be very frustrating after more than a year of lockdown to see the beautiful outside and the sun and the flowers coming up. And I know people are wondering, is this another year when I can't travel? And is this another year when I can't do what I want to do, where I have no freedom? So I put it to the cards, a couple of stipulations, that this week I was not going to read reverse cards. People are savvy enough to know that if they don't follow the advice, the inner wisdom of the ancestors and the spirit world, that, the opposite of what we're going to read is likely to happen. It's kind of the shadow aspect. The other thing we're going to do differently this week is Brian is going to take a full video of the cards in the complete layout. I will still show them. I'm quite in awe of the cards that we've pulled. The final changes, I'm not going to talk to you about the rituals to do. I think we've talked a lot about rituals. And this is such an important time with the earth waking up that you can find a ritual to do in nature when it's actually being warm enough to take your shoes off and go stand on the earth. So I'm going to leave the rituals. I'd rather spend our time together talking about this incredibly important medicine wheel. So the first card I'd like to deal with is our position here in the east of the wheel, the position that represents the beginning of this cycle with this new moon. And I get a most auspicious card, the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is everything is on top of the world. Cups represent water and represent emotion and flow. And we are at the end of a cycle here. We are at the end of a cycle, and it is positive. This is a positive statement, really, of we're coming out of a very long, dark winter, and there's no snow left even here in central Ontario anymore. We are getting on top of things at a very physical level, a very real third dimensional level, but at a spiritual and higher level we are coming to terms with and getting on top of a long dark night of the soul. And it may not feel like that, but Spirit is letting you know that the energies are moving in this direction. So some of you may be still feeling depressed and isolated, but please know that Spirit is letting us know that this is shifting. And as we move around the wheel, these cards I'm using are the Naked Heart Tarot, and these are the cards, representing the positions of the wheel. I love these cards because there are no people, it's all animals. The card at the bottom representing the south of the wheel is the Lovers. This is two eagles communing on their branch. This is a coming together, a really beautiful coming together. Now, a lover can be a significant other, a partner, but it can be a sense of reconnecting with those we love deeply and personally, and it can even represent a person in their community. But there's a significance to this, and this is saying that we're getting to be together and focus on the relationship rather than on the externals to us. And I think we need to take it to that higher level. Spirit has been saying all along, if you go back to some of our previous videos, that the end of the summer brings the vast majority of people inoculated and the beginning of opening things up again. As the pandemic abates, as this incredible virus begins to subside in its ability to dominate, we are getting back to the things we love. And this represents this part of the wheel, the summer ending in fall equinox. This is an auspicious card, another major arcana card, the Magician. This is telling us that we are the creator of our reality. We have everything we need. All the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, we have the capacity to create. The one element represented here that's very much in this whole reading, as you will see, is the element of wands, which is the fire in the belly, the fire to undo things which aren't working, but all to especially co-create with us, give us the impetus to get off our duffies and our couches, and get doing what it is we need to do. So this is the visioning, this is the creating, this is the manifesting, this is thanking the universe ahead of time for the gifts and the virtues and the excitement, the manifestations coming our way. So this is in the fall. And finally, the Queen of Wands. This is a fox. The heart, she's referred to in this deck, but this is the Queen of Wands. This is the masterful co-creator, the fire in the belly. This is, we've had the vision, and now we are manifesting. Now, while this relates to how we are visioning just for the month, Spirit is asking us to use this next 4 weeks, these cards, not just to think about the far future, the months from now, but also how do we put that into getting the ball rolling now. We have to think about those things, not sitting in lamentation about what it is we're going through now. Great spiritual teachers speak to us of being mindful and being in the moment and to be in this 24 hours. But we are also expected to co-create and have a vision of what we'd like to see. We don't have to say it has to go in this way or I won't like it. We surrender that to the universe. So please know that the universe is validating for us that we are right now, in this 4 weeks, co-creating the reality we're going to see in these months to come. So those are the 4 cards representing the 4 immediate positions on the medicine wheel for the time in the future, but also concurrently for this moon cycle. So as always, I pulled ancestor cards, and I asked the ancestors what it is that we need to think about. And it was so important. I always use this Judith Pintar deck. So the first card here is Earth and the All That Is. And I'd like to read you what this represents. Okay. It is a quartered circle. The key words that represent this card are patterns and lessons. And the meaning is, it is possible to make decisions that fit the greater patterns of your life, rather than simply reacting to immediate circumstances. Consciously participate in your life. So this is wonderful. If we sit in the past and lament that things are going to be, or worry about the past and how we reacted, we are in something the elders call the ghost lands. And that just consumes a lot of life energy. So the next ancestor card is a vision card. And this card, I'm also going to read it. These are just so important. This card is the card of, the main card of the card of vision. It's the primary card of the East, this particular one. So it's the sun and the moon shining on the earth. The key words are spring, dawn, light, birth, beginning. Its meaning is, it's possible to experience pure and powerful beginnings. Deep comprehension is available through the search for personal vision. Okay, so that's that card. The next ancestor card, moving out of the summer into the west position or the autumn position, is Vision West. This card represents a forest fire. The key words here are the release of vision and clearing. There is a freedom and possibility in every release. Be willing to move forward, releasing past visions, making room for the new. So this is telling us by the end of the summer, we will be at another level of visioning, another sense of new emergence in our world. This also applies to about the 3rd week of this moon cycle. And then the final card in this is a card we had last reading, actually. It's another West card, and it's Stillness. Let me just get that. The image is a hand squeezing a cloud. And the key words here are control and trust. The mistrust of natural rhythms of the world may cause you to try to alter or control them. Relax and trust the unfolding. Very, very, very important messages here for us. And the final cards in this medicine wheel, which Brian is going to photo and hold at length so you can see what we're relating to here. These are adjunct cards created by the same author as The Naked Truth. And these represent classic symbols in tarot, but they can be used more like an oracle. They're magical in their intent, like a Lenormand would be. I actually pulled out the Mirror Truth Lenormand to use today, and then it occurred to me, why not use the cards that go with the author's intention? So the card sitting with the Nine of Cups is a bouquet of flowers. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Positivity, happiness. Yes, we are getting flowers naturally from the earth, but this represents joyfulness. We have Mother's Day coming up in May, and we think of flowers then, but I think of the Turtle Mother is giving us the flowers instead of us giving our mothers flowers. So that card sits with the Nine of Cups. The card that sits with the Lovers is a crown. So this relationship that we're creating is the crowning relationship of this period. So we are going from one beautiful card, from emotional balance, completion of this cycle, flowers, our lover being crowned, and next we move to this magical magician, and the magician is creating leaf, new beginnings, blossoming, birthing. So magician sits with leaf. In a Lenormand, leaves come from trees, and trees are about health and new life. And finally, the card that goes with the Queen of Wands is the card for Leo. And we know that Leo, bring these cards together. Leo is from the 22nd of July to the 21st of August, thereabout. So this tells us when this cycle is manifesting, heading into the north. So everything that we create by Leo finishes this year. And that's really important. That's the macrocosm. The microcosm is, if we look at this spread as reflecting just this month ahead, we have a whole lot of fire energy. We have a whole lot of wands here. We have a forest fire. We have this wand energy. We have wands here. We have a lot of eruption. There's always chaos in new beginnings. Think if you've ever had a baby, the chaos in your life. You go from one day not having a child and suddenly it's there in diapers and laundry. That's an eruption. It's a joyous one. And we can make that kind of eruption a joyous thing. So that's reflected in the astrological cards that I pulled. The first card was water. Water is still an issue right now in this moon cycle. Yes, the snows have abated, and yes, the rivers aren't running very mucky, but water should be uppermost on our minds right now. Water is also the element of this card. Water is the element of this card. The card trying to force the cloud to create rain is a misuse of control. Here it's saying we're in balance. So the ancestors are asking us to keep water dominant. Do prayers by the water. As it is opening up for us to go and walk to the water, to do prayers and lay our sema and thank the flow. Because what this is in the spring is the flow. We've gone from icy conditions with no flow now to a time of flow. Here's our upheaval card, our fire card. This is a solar eclipse, meaning revolution. We don't actually have a solar eclipse. This means the energy, a comparable energy, is happening this month. And yeah, it is. In fact, let me give you some information here. So we have a super full moon, April 26th, 27th. And I believe we are in apogee right now, coming up to apogee. Yeah, April 14th, the moon is in apogee. So it's the furthest it can be away from us, which is a time for shamanic journey. So know that there is upheaval this month, and it's explosive and it's transmutational in the best possible way. So we have water, we have fire. This card is about Libra. Libra is balance and beauty. Libra occurs from the 23rd of September until the 21st, I believe, of October, 22nd of October. So that's the period right after autumn equinox. That tells me that we can expect the balance. We're creating the magic here. Balance does not include control. So this is about balance. So look for balance by Libra. And if you have Libra somewhere in your chart, like I do, I have Libra as an ascendant, I would look for where Libra is dominant in your chart this month. That's also a time to look for balance. And the second house is the final card. This is about owning and material things. So some point this month, look at how you're spending money, how you're making money, where it's going, but owning things in this dimension, and maybe thinking about how you might have to shift what you do, where you live. So I think that that's all we can say. And remember, these readings are all the micro of this month ahead. And this is really taking us up till the next time I do the full moon reading in 2 weeks. But it's also a portent of the rest of this year. The cards month after month after month have been telling us that, you know, by the end of the summer, things are moving back to a normal. It will still be a new normal. It can't go back to the way it was, because that would be putting us back in the ghost lands, and that's not going to work. So, blessings to you all. Enjoy this wonderful weekend and this glorious weather. Give thanks for every flower that you see budding and all these birds that are outside now. Sure, they wake us up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but they're bringing new life and new generations. So, miigwech, Nyawen, peace.